got one that can see.
Logic before authority.
Hi guys, this is Daniel Alexander Cannon here today. Let me check and just make sure that we're actually live.
We are live. I'm in
Okay,
chat.
We are live. Okay, good. All right. Guys, today, Roxy and I were doing some digging about the history of our family, our bloodlines, and our surnames. And we started out about, I don't know, 2 hours ago. No, I've been 2.5 hours ago. And all of a sudden we realized it was 2:30. And we're like, oh, we're supposed to be doing the show. And
this started at 1:00.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to show you and we're going to share with you some of the things that we're finding about the history of our bloodlines and destiny. And there, at least when you're standing in our shoes, it is, it'll make you, like, your body kind of vibrate, feel weird and a little nauseous, but not in a bad way necessarily. It's just, it truly is amazing. Now, okay, you see the image on your screen? The old house, right? That is in Charleston, South Carolina. And it's a historical house that was built by a gentleman that he was known as a master mechanic, a master architect. He owned sawmills. He basically built Charleston. Okay. And I'll be able to show you, I could show you around, I know I can show you pictures of 26 different places that he built. He also built the church, the main church in Charleston. And that is right down on, it's on Cannon Street. Yeah, that's right. I said Cannon Street.
Side note, we need to go look at the architecture of that as well.
Yeah, we're going to. Yep, in just a moment. This house here is known as the Daniel Cannon House. As a matter of fact, his full name was Daniel Alexander Cannon, and he built this house. This is historical records off of out of Charleston, but what was the website we were looking at, Roxy?
Which one did we start with? The first pictures I saw was actually from the Library of Congress.
Library of Congress, yeah. Right, exactly. Daniel Alexander Cannon was known as a lot of things, but and as we're talking and digging, find out that Roxy's bloodline as well crosses together in some amazing ways. See, Daniel Alexander Cannon, that built this house, he built most of Charleston. And we're kind of tracking down a lot of the history on it. And we thought we would share some of this because Daniel Alexander Cannon also had a brother named Johnny Nelson Cannon. Well, of course, Daniel Alexander Cannon is my name, and my brother's name is Johnny Nelson Cannon also. And Daniel Cannon, who built this house, is my great-great-great-great-grandfather, somewhere's right in there, okay? He was known when the Boston Tea Party broke out and the British were coming and all that. He was known for going door to door people's homes and telling them the British are coming. Yes, that is true. He was fighting against the Freemasons and fighting against the Dark Ones. Yeah, that's true. The history of blood and destiny. So, we're going to have our cameras off today. We're just going to show you some of the things that that we're finding very interesting. We thought we'd share it with you. Ultimately, this will probably go into a documentary about my bloodline and destiny. And let's see where we want to start here. I basically showed you the front of the house. There's the sides of the houses. Nothing wrong with taking a quick look. If it'll let me in. So this is like the side of the Daniel Cannon house. That's literally what it's documented as being. And click it again. We've got another side of the house now. I want you to start paying attention to the things I've told you about symbolism and architecture of things that are built and what they mean. You all know of all the many things that I've been researching and talking about, and you're going to see it built into the architecture of the Daniel Cannon house.
Okay, hang on. Dead center of the house, the window. We know that looks like a Vesca Pisces. But look at the shutters. When you open the shutters, like you're opening the Vesca Pisces, it looks like wings.
Yep. Right here.
I don't know, that just caught my attention. I understand that the shutters are curved so that when they close, they cover that window.
The
but
shutters are veils. See up the top too? They're like a veil in front of the Vesca Pisces.
And just for anybody who might be listening on the other side of the country who doesn't know Charleston history, Charleston was a major place that people came in when we first started settling in South Carolina.
I'm going to check on Miss Kim here for a second.
And location-wise, I am 2 hours from Charleston currently, and Daniel is an hour. And our families have literal roots from where I sit at today back to Charleston.
Yep. And
covered some really freaky stuff.
And there's a lot of it that is amazing. Now I want you to notice on this doorway. Now this is my bloodline's house. A man that was named with the exact same name I have. And I was in real estate for over a decade. I built houses. That's what Daniel Alexander Cannon did too. I sold houses and I built houses. I developed neighborhoods. That's what Daniel Alexander Cannon in Charleston did. He developed Charleston. Now, if we look at these windows, this architecture is, the arched architecture. And of course, right in the middle right here, you have the circle inside of the circle, don't we? See if that worked right. Yeah, there we go. You can see knowledge that they had in the way that they built the metal framing on the door here. The swirl, the whirl. You see the whirl here? The circle inside the circle, the whirl. Now, you might think that's coincidence. Let's look some more. See if we can find more coincidence. Now, what have I been showing y'all guys, even in the last week? I showed you the image of the world, the reality, the existence in which we live in. What do you see on the ceiling in my great-great-great-great-grandfather's house named Daniel Alexander Cannon? You see an upside down image of the world, the great flower, the spiral, how everything moves. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 circles outside of one big circle in the middle with a big flower in the middle with fire hanging down from it. Light, as in like symbolic for a tree or symbolic for a pillar hanging from the middle. Now I realize that this is this round thing designed like this is fairly common, but this is in my great grandfather's house with the name Daniel Alexander Cannon. Just for me, mind blowing. Look at the doorway; it's arched too. Man, those were nice looking doors. Holy smokes! What I would do to own this house, even to visit it. What would I feel when I walked in?
I don't know, but we're going.
Right?
You know, we're going.
And we're gonna film it as we go. Take y'all guys there with us as we research the history of blood and destiny of our families. Because y'all guys know that Roxy is my niece, but it goes much deeper than just that. It goes much deeper.
As we've learned today.
Yeah, literally. Another image of the looking kind of the other angle of the entrance. Look at even the rug on the floor is a flower.
I did just figure out
inside of each little circle. What, Roxy?
What I just discovered a while ago is that the two names don't cross biologically, but I'll explain that. But no, the floral thing on the ceiling, if you represent that as 3-dimensional rather than 2-dimensional, it would be the Taurus.
Yep. That's exactly what it is. That's why we live in a world. That's what I've been telling you guys. We live in a world. There's some more architecture of the house my grandfather built. There's a street in Charleston. It runs right down through the main street, main center of town. The old part of Charleston. It's called Cannon Street. There's an old church there on Cannon Street that my grandfather built. And there's parks that are named after him that he donated the property for. Not parks, gardens, actually. They were called gardens. I was saying a while ago, somehow I think they grew food as a community setup. And Roxy was just talking about this the other day on the show about growing food in a community setup. And then we found out my great-grandfather donated parks. Likely, and I bet you when I start digging, I'm going to find out they were growing food. And they were sharing it, like the food in the garden. We wouldn't call it park. Call it a garden. Beautiful architecture.
Craftsmanship that went into this house is, because you got to imagine that house right there is still standing, guys, and it's currently being used by the medical university for their pharmacy department, which is where we run into ideological disbelief on that one. But
we got kind of mad because John Hopkins University has some hand in here somehow, and the medical university is running something other with pharmacy and students and stuff out of my house. Get out of my house! I'm not digging it. They're like, we got the house. I'm like, you're gonna, woo. Another image of ceiling. Obviously, that was very important in the house. Let's look at the fireplace. Where'd it go? There it is. Let's look at the chandelier up here on the left. Pretty wild. All wrought iron made. Quality. Now things are plastic. Look at that mirror.
The artwork and the sheer detail of all of these things. And we're talking about this stuff was created in 17 and 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
They did not have the modern manufacturing kind of processes that we have today.
No, it was hand.
And when you go back and look at churches that were built in the 1300s, like they'll have corbels all the way around the church, and every single one of them are exact and they're made out of one piece of stone. Come on, folks.
Mm-hmm. You see the gate on the fireplace has a veil in front of it, or a gate or doorway or a portal in front of it that is in the image of a Vesica Pisces. And on the other side of it is the fire. These are literally teachings right out of my teachings that I've come to understand. That's a veil before the fire. Wow. Talking about creation and things like that. Look at the detail on that ironwork. God. The detail on this chair right here is cool too. Just absolutely amazing. Yeah, I think we got a few more still. This is a different fireplace in the house. Boy, that hurt my ear. Oh yeah, I haven't. Somebody's on Beyond the Veil, and I haven't had a chance because we were talking for 2 hours to fix the audio. Alpha Bravo Charlie said, "I can see you, but I can't hear you." He's on the website.
Daniel, we wish we could go
to
do a quick deed change.
need a signal for him to go. Don't know how to do it.
You're going to have to type something on the screen because he can't hear you.
How can I type something on the screen?
I don't know. Bring up a blank window and type on the screen. Man, I got to do all the thinking in this relationship.
Hold on. Let's see here.
Bring up a blank Word document.
Yeah, there you go.
See, guys, we're a team for a reason.
Let's see here.
You go do that and I'll talk. We went down this rabbit hole this morning. This kind of started with my rabbit hole on my family and trying to search some deeds, and then we got in a conversation, and so we both got to pulling stuff because my mom is Daniel's sister. Daniel is the baby. And so I have a different last name than Daniel does. So, we're both searching surnames because my surname is extremely rare, and rare blood types and some rare locations and how my family came to be here. There you go. And this is kind of where this has led us. This was just just for reference, y'all, this is how mine and Daniel's morning goes. This all started out that this was supposed to be a production meeting at 1:00 where I was going to talk about someone I want to invite on my show. I wanted to check with Daniel, see what he thought about it. I go to him for wisdom because I'm new at this. And this has turned into a 2.5 hour journey down the rabbit hole, where we have now found out that our families have been connected generation after generation, not even biologically, just in business and rubbing elbows. And my mother, who was Daniel's sister, and my father met on a blind double date. And we can now trace back ancestors' lineage, generation after generation that rubbed elbows or were in business or knew each other. There we go.
All right. Take care of that.
Maybe that'll work.
It's like really
Freaky
when we really started looking. All the connections. It's a little mind blowing.
And it's not just the stuff from the 1800s. I'm talking about today.
Even today, yeah.
I can point to something that happened 6 years ago, and there's no way it's a coincidence. There's no way. And Daniel don't even know about this yet. There's no way.
Look at the chair rail on the wall right there. It's the Taurus.
Yep.
See right there?
Yep.
Taurus. This looks like the Garden of Eden. That's what it reminds me of. It's a large tree, big top on it, and goes down, and there's like garden area down here. Like the garden. And then you got the Taurus over here where the garden is in the middle.
At the Iradium fireplace?
Iradium fireplace?
Yeah.
Is that what that's
Just
called?
FYI. Well, no, that's what they actually used to heat their home with. It was called Iradium.
Oh.
Yeah, look into it. They could take a small piece of Iradium and you could put it in a fireplace or a stove or whatever, and one chunk of it would heat your house for the winter. Now we're talking a chunk the size of a grapefruit. Heat your house for the whole winter. Imagine that. They took that from us. Because you didn't need to buy but one piece.
Now here is an image of the Daniel Cannon house in Charleston, South Carolina.
Currently.
Fairly current, you know. October of 2024, apparently. And there's the front door that I showed you a while ago. There's your steps. How many steps you put on here? Of course, these might not be the original steps, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11. 11 steps. Maybe 12. Because there's one down at the bottom down here. I don't know if I counted that. And you can see MUSC right here now because apparently they're the ones that own it now. The hospital, MUSC there in Charleston. They got to give me my house back. That literally feels like
I say we go take the whole town back. It's evidently ours anyway.
Yeah, it's ours to start with. I've always dreamed in my life I wanted to build a house like this, and I never did. With this huge double porch that's up like this high, with an under area down here, you know, like that. And this would underneath would be where you'd park your cars, maybe 4-wheelers, or maybe have a cellar down there as well, and a basement underneath even that, you know. And if I look this way, you can see that's MUSC right there. That's the big hospital down there. And this is called Calhoun Street. And Cannon Street is just down the road right here, but it's in the street also.
Willie and I actually went down there a couple of years ago, got up on the top of a parking garage, and were taking pictures of the church. Little did I know that my great-great-great-grandfather built the church when I'm taking these pictures, but
right.
Amazing what a small world it is.
It's like, let's call it a small world, but it might be a little bit of destiny in there.
Because there are no coincidences.
Let's pull this up here. Well, I want it to go full screen.
Both of our families
There's
integrated.
right there. Cannonboro.
Yep.
Yeah, both of our families came into Charleston out of Europe, England,
1700s.
In the 1700s. And if we zoom in here, this is Ashley Avenue here, and that's Rutledge. That's Calhoun there. Cannon Street is going to be right in here somewhere. So let's probably a little bit more over this way. Spring Street, Bogart, Spring, Morris, Radcliffe, Vanderhorst, Fishburne, Carolina, Sumter, Race, Congress Street, Unger, Moultrie Street. It's in here somewhere. So I don't know why I ain't seeing it. Columbus, Camden. Oh, there it is. Duh, right there. Looking all over it. It used to be the main street through the city, as you can see, where it come right off of here. They diverted the main, the big 4-lane highway, and came off of Cannon.
Yeah, Cannon's a one-way
right
street
came right
now.
out across the bridge here. These are big, huge bridges here, and come right into Cannon Street because we run Charleston.
Now, zoom out so you can see the port. I want to zoom out on that some.
You want to see like this?
All right. Well, when you're looking at this little peninsula of land here, you got to understand that back in the see over there at Patriots Point Naval Museum, all of this was strategic places that ships and stuff were coming in. But that little peninsula there was like the center of everything. And right in the center of that everything, our grandfather owned a big chunk of it.
Yep.
And developed it into what it is today. He was called, what was it? Daddy Cannon?
Master Mechanic or Mechanic, something like that. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. And Master Architect, obviously, and Land Developer, which is exactly what I've done in my life. And the only other part that I've done that he also did was he was a patriot and went door to door, warning people that the British were coming and they were trying to, the Freemasons were coming and they were trying to take over and run things again. Switch this to satellite view so we can see it for a second that way too. Yep.
Now, one of the big things, if you look at a lot of the current pictures of Charleston, you will see that there are pineapples everywhere. Kind of sound like pine cone and pineal, don't it?
It is. That's exactly it. And it has the Christa Galley on it. Those little prickly things that stick out on every point. Those are the image of the Christa Galley. And if you look at them, they have 2 wings on each side, just like on a pineapple shows that.
Because there's a lot more to Charleston, folks, than just a little chunk of dirt sticking out there. It was picked for a reason. And they say that Blackbeard was in cahoots with some of this and was trying to collapse the Spanish tunnels up under Charleston.
Hey, there's see the wings on there? You have the little prickly thing that sticks straight out.
One of the best like fruits on earth.
And then it has wings on both sides. It's the Christa Galley, just like it's in your forehead. Pineapple. Pineal gland.
Oh, sorry, guys. I'm on a whole nother thing over here. I forgot about chat. My bad.
Yep. And we'll come back into, if we can see the parks. We can see. Switch back to this. Could be some large park areas. Or garden areas, excuse me. There's Daniel Cannon House right there with a little red bubble on it. And MUSC is built all the way around it, but they ain't tore down my house because I'm coming back, baby.
Now, this was our great grandfather who helped build Charleston and that house and many other houses and subdivisions and gardens. And he was also a cotton farmer. What else did he do? Sawmills,
land development.
He had all kinds of businesses. Evidently, he had his fingers in everything.
Here's Cannon Park. Boom, baby.
There's our community garden.
Oh, look, there's pillars, giant Taurus pillars.
Oh, you got to go look at the images. I'm sorry, guys. We're geeking out on this.
I'm totally geeking. Goodness. That's just one, but look at that. The tourist pillars. My golly, this is freaking.
There's got to be more pictures than that. Put your little man there and let him walk around.
Oh, yeah, we'll drop a little man in there in a minute. Let's just drop a little man there. All right, I don't need you no more. Oh.
There's a lot of pictures there. Not so good.
Not sure what this is.
They may have been intoxicated at the moment. This is a 360.
Oh, it's a 360 picture.
Oh, that'll make you nauseous.
And this is Cannon Park. Daniel Alexander Cannon Park. Okay, let me try to come out of that.
Gotta find a different image.
Yeah. To pop up. I want to click pictures. No. I don't want to click on it. Drop the little man again, but I'll be more careful with it. Let's first, where would be the entrance to the park?
I don't know.
Maybe over here. Ta-da! Cannon Park. There's our pillars. Now
I wonder what those pillars went to.
Talking about pillars, and they represent the tree, represent the center of the eye of the storm.
Okay, while you do that, I got to go find some history on Cannon Park. I'm stepping out of chat for a minute, guys. I'm not ignoring you.
Okay, let's see here. We tour around. Obviously, up images of Cannon Park. Charleston. South Carolina.
See what I can find on the actual park as far as history. Oh, sorry. Hot Rod son-in-law going out. Told you I like rednecks with loud mufflers.
Yep.
Cannon Park, a compact 2.7 acre green space. It's at the intersection of Calhoun and Rutledge. Blah blah blah. Dog walkers, joggers.
Yeah, it has a band.
But its story is layered with 19th century civic ambition, neglect, and reinvention. The land wasn't always a park. Originally, it was the sawmill pond. Huh. Our granddaddy had a sawmill pond there.
We had a bunch of sawmills.
In the early 1800s, it was donated to the city for public park use, reflecting the era's growing interest in civic beautification amid the city's post-revolutionary expansion. By 1880, the parcel, once part of the pond, had been filled in and formally gifted. This donation came from Daniel Cannon, a prominent local sawmill owner. The site was dubbed Cannon Mall in his honor. The name evolved to Cannon Park over time, though the Cannon Mall reference stuck. It symbolized Charleston's push toward green spaces in a densely built downtown.
There's an old picture of it. Probably right when they first started putting it together, looks like.
In the late 1880s, city leaders turned to one of America's premier landscape architects, Frederick Law Olmsted, the mastermind behind Central Park. Imagine that. The same person that designed the Biltmore and Central Park designed that.
Wow.
Designing a formal park layout with elegant promenades, shaded groves, and recreational features. However, funding and priorities lagged. Charleston was rebuilding from war and a yellow fever epidemic, and the plans gathered dust for nearly a century. Work on a basic public park finally kicked off in 1894, but in 97 public interest had waned. The grass grew wild, the space devolved into an impromptu pasture for goats and cows. Confederate
See the picture on
reunion.
screen right now?
Yeah,
See those pillars?
that's what the columns were.
That's what they were. That says this building burnt in 1981, and it's only
Here you go.
4 columns remain. 1981.
Milburn structure was a Beaux Art beauty, a domed auditorium with Corinthian columns at the entrance to seat 7,000 for exhibits and performances. Construction wrapped quickly, dubbed the New Charleston Auditorium, opened 1899. By 1901, it was leased out as a theater. 1907, a deal was struck with the College of Charleston, and the museum thrived there until 1979 when it was relocated to a purpose-built home on Meeting Street. October 3rd, 1980, disaster struck. A fire gutted the building overnight, likely sparked by vagrants or an electrical fault. Only the 4 grand entrance columns survived.
Another park.
Now it's a park again. It went from a park to a cow pasture to an auditorium and back to a park. It says it went from an industrial pond to a neglected field, a grand hall to fiery ruin, and now a verdant pause in the bustling low country. If you're visiting, bring a camera for the pillars and a sense of the city's enduring spirit. Dun dun dun.
Road Park is another park that he created, obviously.
Oh, we'll get to the Ravenel name in a few minutes, Diana. Just give me a minute. We done run across that one too.
Park. Oh, wait a minute. It's not Cannon Park. Cannon Borough Park, unless they're all of them the same. Cannon Borough, Elliott Borough, Travel Guide. One of these Cannon Park. Borough Park.
We have run across all. This is the whole thing about the craziness of today, guys, which you're just kind of digging with us. Because a lot of this stuff we've not even looked at. We hadn't had a chance to dig in yet.
Most of it. I just knew some history on Daniel Alexander Cannon. Great grandfather. How many of it goes back? Maybe I'm.
Super Dave, you helped put that blue sign on our house that says MUSC. How dare you, sir? He worked for a sign company back then, I think he said.
This is my brother's favorite logo image, is an image of a cannon, because the cannon name, if you trace it back, they were engineers, and what they did for the king was they built cannons. And so our surname was Cannon. Apparently, when we got here, we decided we didn't want to build weapons. We wanted to build houses and land and development and sawmills and float logs down rivers and do all that kind of stuff the way they did it back in the day instead of on log trucks.
Well, that would make sense why they had a pond for the sawmill there that close to the harbors. Because you're shipping lumber up and down the coast. And that would explain why part of our family ends up as far inland as they do, because they were traveling the river shipping stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Most of our family was in the cotton industry or lumber type stuff.
That image. All those houses. Bring it up here. There's we looked at earlier. We looked at 26 houses that our grandfather built in Charleston. It was 26 that were credited to him, and along with other parks and businesses and other things. Looks more. See. This one. We had the Daniel in the house. Yeah, I did save it. Oh yeah. Like these properties here, these older buildings would have been built by Daniel Cannon as well, all on Cannon Street. All these houses here were built by
he
Daniel.
built quite a bit. Well, about the same time that he is building all of this stuff, from my father's side is my great grandfather on that side, who was I pronounce it Gasky. I think the proper pronunciation is Gask, Gasque, which is directly related to a specific place in the Pyrenees Mountains named Basque. It's on the Spain and France border. They have some really unique genetic anomalies. They have a language that nobody else speaks. And basically, mathematically, you to be a Gasque with a particular bloodline is like hitting the Powerball a couple of times in your life. So it's rare. But the Cannon name and the Gasky name comes in at the same time, and it crosses multiple times all the way up to me and Daniel. My parents, who were a Gasky and a Cannon, met on a blind date in 1973. And so it's just kind of crazy. But come to find out, my great aunt and my great grandfather were actually married. He was 80 years old. They didn't have any children together, but there's a lot of things.
See, that's an older picture of that area with that big mirror above it, the fireplace and everything. These are older photos of the same thing, which give you a chance to see how much it changed or how much they left it the same. Trying to save some of these photos.
The sheer architectural at that time to put all of that into a house is just amazing to me. Like, I've seen people want that dental molding, that square one. I know a lady she's deceased now, but her father had put dental moldings in her home for her up around the ceiling. And I think it took him like a year. He done it, it was really well done because he was a carpenter. But it took this man like a year to do her house. Now I'm talking about a 3-bedroom, 2-bath ranch house. Today.
Look at that. Above the fireplace. 2-winged, sitting in front of a Taurus. See that? Like the 2-winged cherubim sitting with the Taurus image in the middle, like the tree of life. See why I say destiny, blood and destiny.
And it's amazing how on all of this stuff you see these griffins with the wings, but they're mythical creatures. But you see them all the way to ancient Egypt, but they're mythical, right?
That's what they say.
Kind of like dinosaurs and dragons. You were to see my 30-year-old daughter's face, y'all. when we were at the school, and I told my grandchildren he picked up something dinosaur, and I kind of whispered to him. I said, "On the way home, Nanny's going to tell you what dinosaurs really are." My 30-year-old daughter, who is clearly asleep, looks at me and says, "Mom, stop filling their head with that stuff." No, ma'am, you need re-education.
Or education to start with.
The public school system failed you, and so did that college I paid for.
Right.
For a pharmacology degree, no less.
Hmm. Look at that.
Wow.
That's on the floor.
They use those. Those are like we use now, the scrubber mats to clean your feet. That's what those were for. When you walked in the door, you stomped your feet on them to get the mud off. It fell up under the house.
Taurus.
Yep. That could have been any kind of grate, but that's a very specific one.
Yeah.
That's a portal.
Yeah, it's all. You understand why I'm talking about a world now? You get it, it's in my blood. I can't help it. I can see these things. And I had no idea that this house existed with all of this stuff in it that my grandfather built. And what are the chances? It's because it ain't chance. Because it's not.
There are no coincidences.
Crazy. What else we gonna see? Or is that all of them?
I don't know.
And of course, the ceiling has the Taurus on it with all the little circles all the way around, which represent the movement of time, the movement of this world over the periods and resets that we go through. See the loops? Ooh, 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 all the way around. Wow. All right, I'm bookmarking the page. Okay. Back. Find something else to trip me out.
We on a trip after trip today. Well, I just discovered while you're looking at that, I got divorced 6 years ago, guys. And when I got divorced, I was looking for a place to rent. And out of the blue, somebody who I had not spoken to since high school reached out and said, "Hey, I got a little place you can rent." I went over. I didn't know a lot about the Cannon side of my family. I didn't know a lot about any sides of my family other than, aunts and uncles I grew up with at family reunion. And one day, the man who owned it was a little mobile home on a farm. And he's like, I noticed that the name of the road was John Cannon Road.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Which John Cannon is this?" And my mom happened to be there that day, and we had a conversation. He actually knew John Cannon, who was my one great or two great grandfathers. Anyway, this had been his farm. I was actually fixing to move in to John Cannon's farmhouse when my situation changed. Now, let me tell you a little bit about John Cannon. John Cannon's first wife died. His second wife was his housekeeper, who had no biological children with him. But this was my aunt, Minnie Gasky, was my great grandfather's housekeeper. She took care of him in his old age, and I spoke to the man that owns the farm now. He actually bought the farm from my grandfather. And Minnie, my aunt, great aunt, was only 30, and my great grandfather was 82. She was his housekeeper. She had taken care of him since his wife had passed away years before, and his way to take care of her was he married her so that the farm would go to her.
Take that photo.
Ain't that wild?
Yep, that's a trip. I know some of that information. I've heard about that. And John, an area over kind of towards between Conway and Aner, and it's owned. This huge area was our great grandfather's farm, and my granddaddy died. He passed a piece of it to my mom, But she had no clue what to do with a piece of land. This is on Calhoun Street. It was when it was brick. And they would have had to have, those houses are likely, because this is on Calhoun, right when my granddaddy built all the houses. And this looks like one of the pictures I looked at earlier, one of the houses he built. Check it out. It was cobblestone, like brick road, literally. I see you on the website. In Toronto, they have the CN Tower, which resembles the tourist field. Yep, exactly. Did I save that yet?
I don't know. Since Aunt Kim is not there directing today, any director's notes I'm having to text you in your phone. FYI.
Uh-huh. Oh, I get you now.
While he's humming and checking his director's notes, hello to anybody we missed in the chat. I know there's quite a few out there chatting right along, and I'm trying to keep up with them as we're talking and researching. My phone's going off. But yeah, when we delved down the road of who owned what and how they were connected, our family lines have been crossing since the early 1700s. Even in my today life, like there are echoes of the past that are still crossing. Like I was given this book to read randomly, and in it was one of my ancestors, because it was a historical novel from Charleston, who was, and it's just mind blowing because it circles it all back together, guys. There's so much of this that hard to explain.
Okay, co-director.
Enforcer.
A lot of these houses and images on the left would have been built by my grandfather. That one I know I recognize. That one of these ones up here. Okay. I'll bookmark this page too. Elevations. So these are drawings. Elevation drawings for houses that were old drawings. If I search for Cannon. Ugh.
And I'm supposed to have a show tonight at 7:00 for anybody who's going to tune in, but we got so deep down this rabbit hole. I have not completed my research, and I don't want to bring y'all a half a show, so I might put this off mine to another night this week, because mine's on Cleopatra and Mary Magdalene and Council of Nicaea, and I don't want to short my research, so I'm sorry I got distracted on this today. We're going to have to bring that at another time.
We did 2 in 1. Sorry, guys, my voice is not a problem. Been doing a lot of talking lately. This is an image of the outhouse, or the other house, or an outbuilding right beside my grandfather's house. This he built also.
That would have probably been servants' quarters.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, but That's pretty good size. It's actually about as big as what I live in now. It's 2 stories.
Ain't it? I think that's
quarters is
bigger
2
than what I
stories.
live in now.
Right?
I live in a box, a small box.
Yep. But still, we got a fireplace too. Awesome.
Oh, I can't wait till we go to Charleston.
Yep, that'll be fun. All right. Well, Roxy, I'm tired. I got to take a break, and because we've been standing here, I've been standing here for 4 hours.
Down the rabbit hole we fell.
Yep, been literally here for 4 hours going at this. Me and Roxy being for 4 hours.
Brain vomit.
Yep, and there's so much more to do. We may share some more of this kind of stuff with y'all guys later, if y'all guys would like to see it, about the history of blood and destiny. If you want to know, if you want to see it, let us know somehow. Okay. But
hit that like button and subscribe on your way out.
Yeah, if you ain't been here before, I don't know what you're doing here on this one, but anyways, you're welcome, and please subscribe, because we go all kinds of places, and it's all supernatural in a lot of ways, and we invite you to come back again sometime. But for today, we're gonna get on.
Are you doing a solo tomorrow?
Huh?
Are you doing a solo show tomorrow?
Oh Lord, 31 in 31 days. Ooh.
This was your idea, sir.
I know.
You and Shannon. I'm here to kick in when I can.
She came up with an idea of, well, let's do a telethon. And I said, well, let's do a SuperThon and let's go live every day. I'm like, and now I'm how many days in? I
don't know.
I am
7.
7 days in. See, I'm kind of blurry minded. 7 days in, and I got 3 more weeks to go.
I don't know. Maybe we should recalibrate.
3 weeks and 2 days to go. No, I got to do what I said I was going to do. That's how you have to do it. Do what you say you're going to do.
Oh, I mean, pitching off to others. But there's a lot of us that can carry some of this weight. But anyway, have a good evening, guys. I'm not going to do a show tonight because I'm not bringing you incomplete research. So I will, if not again, I will see you either tomorrow night or Thursday.
Yep. And I'll see y'all guys tomorrow. Yeah. And I know I didn't do, matter of fact, I could do that real quick. Hang on just a second before we go anywhere. Let me give y'all guys an update on the SuperThon for yesterday. We had kind of a little bit of good and not so good, but and I need to double check a few things, but because I could be missing 1 or 2. But I do know that we had a pay-per-view rental, or a purchase actually, where they could download it, which was $5, and that was Jerry G. And we had Daniel G. that also got an Operation Radiation pay-per-view, so he watched it and he could download it. And I'm surprised there's not more of you getting a copy of that, to be honest with you, because it's literally legendary research and work and truth about how they started these planned demonics and getting blue piles in people and all this. So I encourage you to go get it. We also have Barbara K, which she's over, I don't know where she's at, in Europe somewheres, and she signed up for a membership on the website, a level 2 membership. That's $10 a month. And thank y'all guys for your contributions yesterday. And I'll get a complete refreshed version for tomorrow and get y'all guys up to speed on that. But yeah, I love you. And but we're going to get out of here. I'm kind of tired. I need a break because we already been live here, standing here for 4 hours. Yeah. All right. I love you guys. Father loves you. We'll talk to you real soon. See you tomorrow. Well, that was the wrong button. So let me try again. Hey, I'm a little tired. Here we go. I think I got it now.
I've got one that can see.
Logic before authority.